Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of Joshua. We're in Joshua chapter 24. Today we're looking at the concluding paragraph of the book. That's found in verses 31 through 33. So this concludes our study and our journey through the book of Joshua. Now, in yesterday's session, we saw that at the age of 110 years old, Joshua had died, and he was buried in his possession of the land. He had led them for so many years and so well. And his last act as leader had been to renew their covenant with God. And then we have a few concluding words as to the book. The first is in verse 31. And notice what a wonderful thing this says about Joshua and how his influence continued even after his death. It says, verse 31, Israel served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and of the elders who outlived him and who had experienced everything the Lord had done for Israel. So Joshua's influence was great, and as long as he was alive, the people stayed true to the Lord. And even after he was gone, all those who had known him, all of that first generation, continued to follow the Lord. Now, sadly, in the days to come, after we get to another generation who did not know Joshua, who only remembered him from the history text, but had not personally experienced his leadership, we find some people turning away. That will come in the book of Judges. But for all those who had known Joshua, and for the first generation after he was gone, for all those who remembered him, his influence lasted. They stayed true to the Lord. Indeed, what a leader he was. But then there's a few more concluding words the author of the book of Joshua wants to remind us of. Verse 32, and Joseph's bones, which the Israelites had brought up from Egypt, were buried at Shechem in the tract of land that Jacob bought for 100 pieces of silver from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem. This became the inheritance of Joseph's descendants. Sort of an interesting footnote to the book of Joshua, we are reminded that the bones of Joseph were buried in the tribal inheritance of his descendants. Now, you remember way back in the book of Genesis, when Joseph had died, he had left instructions for the children of Israel. The time will come when God will deliver you from Egypt and take you back to the promised land. And at that time, you will carry my bones with you so that I can be buried in the land of promise. That was over 400 years ago. But Israel had never forgotten the promise Joseph had made the children of Israel make to him. And when they departed from Egypt in the Exodus, we are told they carried the bones of Joseph with them. And now, at the end of Joshua, we are reminded, and they buried his bones in the land of promise, in his descendants' tribal inheritance. Just a reminder of the fulfillment of a promise made so long ago. And then we get to the last verse of the book of Joshua. And Eleazar, the son of Aaron, died and was buried at Gibeah, which had been allotted to his son Phinehas in the hill country of Ephraim. Now, Eleazar was the high priest of Israel. He was the son of Aaron. And so we're told that he is now passed away, and he is buried in the inheritance of his son, Phinehas. In other words, the first generation is passing away. The first generation of those who possessed the promised land, who took the land of Canaan, they are now passing away. And the death of Eleazar is sort of a symbolic reminder that that first generation is now passing away. And so we come to the end of the study of Joshua. We've been involved with it for several weeks now. I hope you've enjoyed our journey through Joshua as the children of Israel come into possession of the land of promise. God had promised them the land back in the day of Abraham, and now they are in possession of the land. Our next 5-minute Bible study will begin on Monday, June the 8th. We'll return to the New Testament. We'll be studying the Gospel of Mark. So I hope you join us for that. We begin our study of the Gospel of Mark on Monday, June the 8th. So join us for that 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of Mark.